Graham Stephan. Is Graham Stephan a scam or is he legitimate? I'm David Jaffe with BestStockStrategy.com, and in this video you are going to learn my opinion on Graham Stephan. Now, before we start this video, I want to make it clear that I am not a hater. In fact, I am probably much more wealthy than Graham Stephan. People have a tendency to label someone else who possesses an opinion which is contrary to their own as a hater. In my opinion, Graham Stephan is not a fraud. He is not a scam artist. I believe that his followers who watch his videos are not going to derive any benefit, and they are also not going to improve their own life. And the reason is very simple. Graham led a life which, if he tried to replicate his own success 1,000 times, he would probably fail 999. Graham did not go to college.
No, I did not end up going to college.
He did not get good grades in high school.
Basically, all of my grades were like D. My goal in high school was basically as long as I could just not fail.
The reality is that if you want to be successful in life, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be worth $10 to $20 million, then you have to stack all of the probabilities in your favor. And someone who does not go to college, who works as a real estate agent, who is essentially a product of the YouTube algorithm, is not someone that other people should look up to. Now, on the flip side of that, he definitely does have very redeemable qualities. He is an extremely hard worker. He is consistent in posting videos. Many people who follow in his footsteps and do not go to college and who end up as a hard-working real estate agent and who open up a YouTube channel are going to find themselves earning about $50,000 a year. Graham Stephan was not overly successful prior to YouTube. He did not start a business. He did not make hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars in any previous business. Instead, Graham Stephan's success is predicated upon the YouTube algorithm promoting him. And this is the primary reason why he is not someone that you should look up to. The reason is that if you follow in his footsteps, the probability that you are going to realize even 1% of his success is extremely small. People who are the most wealthy and the most successful in our society tend to go to the best colleges. Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg went to Harvard. Jeff Bezos went to Princeton. Those people realize that you have to pay the price today and make the necessary sacrifices so that you can pay any price in the future and set yourself up with the highest probability of success. For an individual who did not go to college, who decided to become a real estate salesperson, and who started a YouTube channel, in general, those people are going to max out at making anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 a year. However, earning $100,000 a year as a real estate agent and by opening up a YouTube channel is probably only achievable by less than 10% of the population. And this is the primary reason why I believe that Graham Stephan is not someone that should be idolized. He has no prior history of success. None of his previous businesses that I have been able to find have been successful. So essentially, he is a creation of YouTube. He is a creation of the YouTube algorithm, and I wish him all the success in the world. However, it is extremely important for you to be able to decipher between luck and something that is replicable, because you are watching this video with the hope of enriching your own life. You are watching this video so that you can take bits and pieces of successful people's personalities and adopt them as your own. However, in Graham Stephan's case, he does have some redeemable qualities, such as not spending money on dumb shit. But at the same time, if you try to replicate and walk a similar path as him, the odds that you are going to replicate his success and even achieve 5% of the annual income that he makes is close to zero. Because Graham Stephan is extremely fortunate. He got lucky. he was in the right place at the right time. And right now, as long as he continues to make videos and not screw things up, then he will be extremely successful in life. However, he is not teaching you any skills that are going to help you live a more enriched and successful life. Being a real estate salesperson is not something that has a very high hurdle rate. Being a real estate salesperson is something that virtually 100% of people can do. There are very few barriers of entry to be a real estate salesperson. So Graham Stephan is essentially a glorified real estate salesperson with fantastic verbal communication abilities, and he's combined that into his channel to be incredibly successful on YouTube. But if you try to follow a similar path as Graham Stephan, there is an extremely low probability that you will achieve even 5 or 10% of the success that Graham Stephan has, primarily because he got lucky. In fact, during high school, he was negligent in the way that he handled his future.
Once I got my driver's license at 16, it got really bad because then I would start to ditch school.
By skipping out on your homework,
Basically stop doing my homework.
by getting poor grades, by getting relatively pedestrian SAT scores, you are not setting yourself up for success. If you're interested in a girl and you walk up to her and you look like crap and you dress poorly, the chances that she's going to show interest in you are close to zero. If you go for a job interview and you show up late and you do not put forth any effort in preparing for that interview, the chances that you receive that job offer are going to be close to zero. So in this situation, by not going to college, by punting high school, by not doing your homework, by getting pedestrian SAT scores, by following a path where you're going to be a real estate salesperson which has virtually zero barriers to entry, your chances of being successful are not that high. Yes, you might make around $50,000 a year. However, if you have goals and aspirations of making over $1 million a year, you have to stack those probabilities in your favor to provide yourself with the absolute best chance of being successful. I went to an Ivy League university and graduated with a 3.8 GPA. I worked on Wall Street as an investment banker. And while I do not work on Wall Street anymore and I will never go back to the corporate lifestyle, I can tell you that we would never even consider hiring someone who did not go to college. We would never even consider hiring someone who had a 2.0 GPA in high school.
My GPA was like a 2.
So essentially, by not sacrificing the present to set yourself up for the future, you are limiting your future opportunities and instead relying on luck to achieve your goals. And that's essentially what Graham Stephan has done. Now, is he fantastic at what he does? Yes, and I wish him all the success in the world, because once you're worth around $10 to $20 million, if you somehow obtain an incremental 30 or 40 or $50 million, it's not going to change your lifestyle. In fact, the more things that you own, the more those things end up owning you. You want to be extremely nimble and unencumbered by the things that you own. However, you are never going to be in a position to amass substantial wealth if you rely upon luck like Graham Stephan did. Yes, I'm sure that Graham Stephan could have been one of the best real estate agents, and he probably could have maxed out at $100,000 a year. Real estate agents do not become incredibly wealthy. Real estate agents do not earn millions of dollars a year. Now, I know that you're going to tell me that he could have bought a few properties and then rented them out to tenants. Where is he going to get the money for that? Banks are going to be extremely hesitant to loan money to real estate salespeople because they are not on salary. So by earning $50,000 to $100,000 a year as a real estate salesperson, banks might be hesitant to extend you a loan, and additionally, you might not be able to build up your real estate portfolio as rapidly as you want. Additionally, owning real estate is not easy, so following Graham Stephan's model of success is not something that is replicable. Again, the main takeaway from this video is that you want to put all of the odds in your favor. you want to put all of the probabilities in your favor. And by following a similar path to Graham Stephan, where you do not go to college, where you get really bad grades, that is not a way of increasing the odds and putting them in your favor. A final thing, which is really important, which a lot of people do not touch upon, are the psychological implications of what transpires when you get really bad grades in high school. One of the reasons why I'm confident is because I went to an Ivy League university and I worked on Wall Street. However, if I had a 2.0 GPA and I consistently underperformed all of my peers, then I might carry forward those negative thoughts into adulthood. I might believe that I am not worthy of my success because I failed at high school and did not even go to college. So while I do believe overall that college is a scam and that for many educated and hardworking people who are self-starters, that they would be better off by not going to college, I also believe that many people who try to idolize and follow the footsteps of these fake gurus are only going to be hurting themselves. If you want to be rich, you need to learn valuable skills that you can monetize. And by following the path as laid out by Graham Stephan, who in my opinion has gotten extremely lucky by being promoted by the YouTube algorithm so that he makes $1 or $2 million a year, that is not something that you are going to be able to replicate. And if you try to replicate that, you are going to be extremely disappointed and you are only going to be hurting yourself. David Jaffe with BestStockStrategy.com. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I respond to everyone's comments. Let me know your thoughts on Graham Stephan. Again, this is not a hater video. I wish him all the success in the world. However, I'm looking out for you. And what I can tell you is that if you want to be successful, you must focus and be committed to learning very valuable skills that you can monetize. And getting a 2.0 GPA in high school, not going to college, and relying upon luck is not the way that you are going to accomplish your goals and maximize your potential.